Well, we cannot allow drug dealers to take over neighborhoods. This is a neighborhood over by McLaren Hospital. People live there. Children are being raised in that neighborhood.
That is Genesee County Prosecutor David Leyton cracking down on a meth lab at a Flint house. It's our featured web video of the day. We'll hear more from Leyton in just a bit. All that and more here on Friday. From our top web headlines, it is time for another edition of the Daily Webcast. I am Jared Smith. A house involved 4 separate drug-related incidents soon could be locked down for good. A public nuisance action against the home at 33-8 Allendale Place was filed this week. The home is located right by McLaren Medical Center. A meth lab was recently discovered in the residence, and 4 people were arrested in connection with the operation. A temporary restraining order has been filed to prohibit further unlawful activity. Our own Mike Horn sat down with Leyton yesterday. It is our featured web video of the day. Let's take a listen.
There's been 4 instances of drug usage and manufacturing of methamphetamine in this particular residence since the first of the year. And because we've had so many instances, we decided that not only to arrest the individuals involved and try to convict them of the drug crimes, we're also going to use the public nuisance law to institute a padlocking and a forfeiture of the property.
This has got to be, I guess, most comforting, I guess, for some of the residents around that area that have to deal with this on a daily basis. It's not only there, but it's, I guess, a continual problem in all of our county right now that you have to be vigilant of.
Well, we cannot allow drug dealers to take over neighborhoods. This is a neighborhood over by McLaren Hospital. People live there. Children are being raised in that neighborhood. And it's true of any neighborhood. If we know of drug dealing going on and we have the facts and the figures within that particular law, we're going to use the law. It's a very tightly drawn law. We can't just do it everywhere. But when the Flint police brought us this evidence of so many instances within a short period of time, we're able to go into court and use the public nuisance law to padlock.
The next court date for this particular incident will take place on July 2nd. Leyton himself will appear in court to turn the restraining order into a preliminary injunction. Meanwhile, temperatures and humidity across the region continue to soar, but will it continue? For more on the weather forecast, we check in with our own Janet Vandewinkle.
Thanks, Jared. As we get into the weekend now, temperatures are going to cool off a bit, no more 90s. We're topping out around 80 today with a good mix of sun and clouds, but there will be a few late afternoon thunder showers. Everything should be out of here by around 8 p.m. at least. Drying out tonight with a low of 54. It will be cooler again. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies and a high of 81.
Thanks, Janet. Time now to check out your web headlines here on Friday. We begin in Flint, where the search is over for a teenage homicide suspect. 16-year-old Mark Jones was arrested Thursday night. Jones escaped a week ago from a counseling center on Corunna Road, slipping out a back door after telling guards he was going to the bathroom. He was arrested back in 2010 after breaking into 73-year-old Merlin Ray's home and killing her. But last night around 9:40 p.m., he was captured inside a home on Cecil Street in Flint. Additional charges are pending. Meanwhile, in Grand Blanc Township, a man was found dead in a burning home on Thursday afternoon. Fire crews were called by neighbors to a house on Georgetown near Genesee and Hill Roads and found heavy smoke and flames. Firefighters from 3 area departments also battled fatigue due to the hot weather.
With the wind blowing and the heat we got right now, we're deteriorating, we're dehydrating very, very rapidly, and we're making sure we get the water back to the guys, get them hydrated back up.
Officials say they believe the fire started in the back of the house. In other news, the old Buick City property in Flint has 2 potential parties interested in buying at least portions of it. A spokesman for the Racer Trust says they may acquire 40 acres of the site. A sale would bring new jobs and additional property taxes to Flint. The site has also been looked at as a possible intermodal transfer station, but environmental concerns have caused delays. A deal is possible by the end of the year. Wrapping things up overseas, a local Michigan State trooper was injured while serving in the Army Reserves in Afghanistan. Several news agencies are reporting Trooper Platt Weinrich suffered a head injury Tuesday after an attack on his military base. According to military officials, Sergeant Weinrich is a member of the 303rd Police Military Company deployed from Jackson earlier this year. Trooper Weinrich is now recovering in Germany and will eventually be flown back to the U.S. He's got a wife and 3 kids and has been with the Michigan State Police since 2000. And for more on the top stories of the day, you can log on to our homepage. You can see the monitor right behind me. There it is right there. It's mynbcnews.com. Don't forget, chime in on what you read by logging onto our Facebook page. The information is right there at the bottom of the screen. It's facebook.com/NBC25, or you can find us on Twitter at NBC_25. Don't forget, coming up tonight on NBC 25 News at 6, we'll have more from today's top news and sports headlines, including an updated weekend weather forecast. So be sure to tune in tonight to Bill Harris and the rest of the NBC 25 News team. Well, that's it for your web headlines here on Friday. We hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Our webcast will take a brief hiatus until next Friday. I'll be out of town soaking up some sun in South Florida, so we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.